I'm here with Charlie, or if I was here by myself.
Right.
If I was here by myself, I'm out. If we were together, I think I'd like to think I would get my phone out and like try and
hit record.
I would probably go in freeze mode. I'd probably be like hyper aware, like frozen, looking all around, trying to see like, is that it? Is it over? Is there something else?
I try to record my phone, but I'd be out of storage.
Right.
I'd be deleting wonderful memories of my son. My son's first steps is deleted.
Yeah.
I gotta catch this.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Broadcasting Seeds. I am your host, Bennett Tanton, and today we've got Tyler and Charlie from Believing the Bizarre, right?
Yeah. Were you tempted to say believing in the bizarre?
Yes.
We get that a lot.
And that's that's why I wrote it down, because I'm like, it's not believing in, because I totally would say that. So
you wrote believing in the bizarre, and you scratched a big X through
big
the
X. Believing the Bizarre podcast. So, gentlemen, welcome to Broadcasting Seeds.
Thank you for having us on.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man. Tell us who you are, what you do, and where people can find you.
Okay. I am Charlie, and I am the co-host of Believing the Bizarre. I feel it's almost becoming like I'm saying the word too much. I'm starting to lose fucking meaning.
Believing or co-host?
Both.
Okay.
Both.
We don't get interviewed that often, so.
No, you go. You know.
All right, I'm Tyler. We're Believing the Bizarre. We're a paranormal podcast. It's been around for 6 years, and basically we do what anyone around a campfire or talking to your friends want to do: talk about paranormal topics, cryptids, hauntings, aliens, and then at the end of each episode, we discuss whether or not we actually find it believable or not.
Nice. I like that. That's a good twist.
Yeah, and because sometimes
It's easy to get lost in the sauce.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of. I mean, you can't believe in everything, right? And I think that sometimes it feels a little shtickish if you do.
Yeah.
And
one of my favorite expressions is if your head's too open, your brain falls out.
I like that. That's good.
I like that one a lot.
That is pretty good.
So we'll tell a story and it'll sound crazy and we'll be super into it, and at the end of the episode we'll be like, unbelievable. Like, I don't believe a second of that. But wasn't it fun to talk about it for 45 minutes? And anywhere you listen to podcasts, Apple, Spotify,
YouTube,
iHeart,
specifically.
YouTube. Yeah, well, not specific.
Well,
where do you guys drive your podcast? Like, where's
Spotify.
I was gonna say the highway.
Spotify.
Yeah. No, like, where do you want the traffic to go?
Spotify.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, that's where they are. We are in the rare group of podcasters where 70% of our audience is Spotify, where
Really?
I feel like the majority of other people that we've talked to, the majority is Apple.
For sure. For me, it is.
This is definitely behind the curtain kind of stuff right now.
Well,
Yeah.
yes.
They're in YouTube as well. But
Aren't we talking about data and statistics the whole episode here?
no. Don't want to give
the
it
fun
all
stuff.
away.
Tyler's in
I wanna give it all
marketing
away.
in real life.
Yeah, I'm a marketing
That's
person. So
that's how his brain works.
it is.
Gotcha. That's awesome. Okay. So first question I ask everybody. And you guys can obviously answer independently. So what got you into this world of high strangeness? Like, what's your gateway drug into this world?
Do you want to go first? I go first. I feel like I went first last time.
Okay. And I love this question because I think I'm not going to give away Charlie's answer, but we both come from different worlds, and I think they complement each other well. So my background is specifically in horror media. Like, from a very, very young age, I was obsessed with the Sci-Fi Channel. I loved, before it was all a bunch of TV shows, Sci-Fi used to always promote like that 9 p.m. Saturday night movie that was so CGI, but I didn't care. It's like big spiders or, something like that. And so I always looked forward to that. I always loved it. So scary movies. I love horror video games. Like, I'm a big Resident Evil fan. Little Silent Hill, Evil Within, Dead Space.
New Resident Evil just came out.
New Resident Evil Requiem came out. I just finished RE4 Remake with my sister finally.
Proud of you.
Thank you. It took us 3 years.
Took you 3 years.
And even like at a young age, like I loved the Twilight Zone marathons
I
on
love
4th of
those too.
July and New
Yeah.
Year's. Goosebumps. Are You Afraid of the Dark? My mom loves to always remind me that at like 5 years old, she showed me Night of the Living Dead. Um, so from me, on my end, I did not know the lore of creatures. I didn't know like
Gotcha.
Appalachian lore. I didn't know about Fae or cryptids, or like I knew the Mothman and the Bigfoots.
Right.
But I truly, if it wasn't in a horror film or a horror story or something like that, I was not aware of it. I wasn't well educated on it. So it was, for me, it's very much horror media from a young age.
Yeah. Understand.
Yeah, and I came from a little bit different place. So my mom was always super into like crystals and like uh good healing, good energy kind of vibes. She read tarot. She was she was always very into that kind of stuff, and she would take me to like metaphysical fairs when I was a kid. We would, and like I feel like I got the more like hippy dippy, like in touch
Yeah.
with your spirit kind of side,
Right.
and that's where the lore really I really fell in love with like the history of like cryptids and aliens and ghosts specifically.
Your friends were like, "You want to go to Cedar Point, Charlie?" You're like, "I got to go to the metaphysical
Medical
fair.
physical.
We gotta go to
Check my
metaphysical fair.
name.
You're gonna cough."
Yeah, no, metaphysical fair. I remember one time specifically I made chocolate, uh, like a Reiki, like the chakras. So
Yeah.
like yeah, I sold them. I made
Wild.
yeah, it's silly. Um, but I kind of came from that world where there was almost like a very spiritual side of it.
Get it. Yeah. I the Reiki. Yeah, I used to be, well, I don't really do it now, but Reiki practitioner. So I get it. I've been in that world too, man.
Yeah.
The metaphysical fairs and all the
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
My
well,
aunt is she's she's very still into it. Down in Kentucky.
it's wild.
Is that Lilydale? Is that
No, that's New
near?
York.
Yeah, he's in New York.
Yeah,
Yeah.
upstate
That's
New
what.
York. It's in the area.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
was
know
gonna
how
say,
Yeah,
you
close.
guys.
Lilydale's over south of Buffalo, I think. So well,
It's on the lake.
it's like halfway between us, you guys and me. It's like halfway between.
I had a very unreal experience with Lilydale.
Tell it.
Oh man, so I like it was like this huge like group reading toward the end of the day. I think it was like one of the last events of the day. I was there with my girlfriend, not my wife. Um, and it was after my mom had passed, and I got picked out of the crowd. And like some people, you could say it's cold reading or whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, it was much more personal than that.
It's
And
just too right on.
I walked away, and I was like, I need some alone time in the car.
Nice.
So you left her
Wow.
there.
Yeah.
You just drove away.
I'm going home.
I'm going home.
No,
It's $20 for an Uber.
Roy Mustang from Full Metal Alchemist. It was clearly it was clearly raining that day, and I was not crying.
Wow.
It was raining in my car.
Yeah.
How did you guys meet?
7 minutes in heaven in the closet.
We so we went to the University of Akron together. We were both
Okay.
freshmen at the same time. We didn't meet each other first semester, but Charlie
I
was
stalked his ass
Charlie was a theater major and I dabbled in theater. I was like
like a drug.
I was a black sheep in psychology. Like I liked the classes, but I didn't mesh with any of the other psychology majors, but I loved theater. I loved improv. I loved acting. And so I was like spending more time in that world than psychology. But then well I'll let you tell like
Oh, I mean, I was in the theater. I knew the people in the theater, like the club, the department, and they're like, "Oh, have you
guild.
met what
The guild.
the guild?" I'm like, "Oh, have you met Tyler?" And I was like, "No." They're like, "You might be really good at improv. You should meet Tyler." I was like, "Okay, I'll find him."
Became a fucking
will stalk
subquest
him.
for him. It was like ping, new subquest, find this dude.
Well, it was also we lived in the same place.
That's true.
Like in
Dorm,
the same
same dorm.
dorm, yeah. And we had a lot of in common people that we knew, and we passed each other going to lunchroom. And I was like, oh shit. And I spun, and some people say it was on a dime. I don't know if it was that precise.
Just an about face.
But I was like, oh, hey, you're Tyler, right? And he's like, yeah. I was like, you live in Galucci? He's like, yeah. On the 3rd floor?
No, he said 319, which is true, with the other Tyler, who was my best friend.
Straight stalker.
And then I think
Yeah.
I said, "Are you asked my social security number?"
I said, haha, yes. I knew it.
But on my end, I found out he was in a band, and I was just learning guitar, and he was very clear that his band sucked. So this was great for me. It's like,
He
I'm just
needs a
learning.
guitar player.
Yeah, like he's just learning. I'm not any good. They just jam. I'm like, this is cool. So it kind of, for me, it was actually more the music end. But then we started acting together. We ran an improv group for like 3 years at the University of Akron. And then that just turned into meshing a whole bunch of creative projects for the last 15 years.
Yep.
So at what point did you realize, yeah, we should absolutely start a paranormal podcast?
So
I,
we started a band first in 2016, and we were not good.
we're
Like,
fine.
We were very not good.
I think we're fine. That's a good way to put it.
Thankfully, well, that's poor wording. The pandemic killed the band.
Many people.
Yeah, the pandemic killed the band, and at the same time, our bassist left. And so around that time, I approached Charlie with the idea of starting a podcast that's not what we currently do. It was more of like a variety show.
Got you.
And we look at that as like our training wheels, where we spent a year of doing that, putting an episode out every week, learning the tech, learning the editing. Charlie had done one previously, but just finding how we mesh together and all of that and sticking to it. And we just realized that we weren't growing, but because of the variety show structure, there was no reason for someone to listen from 1 week to the next. Like, it was too all over the place. So then we were like, we had a meeting and we were like, let's create a list, each of us. And we're just going to bullet point things that we like, and we're going to cross check. We're going to see anything that we both would do a whole podcast about. And so he had his stuff, I had my stuff. And one of the few things that overlapped was paranormal. We were both very much into paranormal. And the plan was to keep doing that podcast for fun and start Believing the Bizarre and just do these little 15 to 20 minute episodes. We were going to batch record them. It was going to be easy and great. And then by like the 3rd month, we were getting more downloads in one day with Believing the Bizarre than we were getting months with the other one. So we cut ties with that podcast and committed to Believing the Bizarre.
Yeah, it's still out there if you want to look hard enough.
If you look hard enough.
Yeah, I think we all have those podcasts out there that are just like floating, you know, all these. Yeah.
And they're great training wheels, though.
Yeah, because you go back and listen to like your first episode and you're like, oh, Jesus, like the audio is, it all just sucked.
Yeah. And I'd much rather have people listen to the first, like the first episode of Believing the Bizarre, obviously, in my opinion, isn't the quality of what we do now, but it's significantly better than the first episode of that podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So,
did we share a snowball microphone?
No, we had 2 snowballs.
Okay.
We had 2 snowballs.
The snowballs, the Yeti snowball.
Yeah.
You know, that was my first mic too. So I guess.
Liz Sauer still uses a Yeti snowball. So
yeah. There are people. There's a guy that I interview pretty regularly, and he has one. He sounds fine.
Yeah. We went from the snowball to this Yeti to now the Rode. So
gotcha.
This is probably, he wants a Shure.
I do.
This is probably the end of the line.
Shures are pretty bougie though. Shures are pretty bougie.
Oh, he knows that. He knows that. He's gonna walk around with that thing. He'll be in public holding it.
He'll be the guy that sits there and holds it, right?
Oh yeah. I'm like, so what do you think about this?
You know how much I would love to have a podcast where you don't need any notes or research, and you can just lounge, sitting back, holding your microphone.
Yeah.
Talk.
Just talk. Just talk, man.
The privilege.
So you guys have done this for quite a while. And what was, I guess with all your interviews and whatnot, what was the first, now do you guys do more interviews or do you just like find topics? Or do you even do interviews?
A little of both.
I mean? Mostly topics.
Both. Mostly topics.
80%, 85% topics. We would do interviews occasionally with other podcasters. And then it turned into occasionally with like people in the paranormal world that we want to talk to.
Got you.
And but then we realized that we didn't know how much our audience liked interviews, and I get anxiety. Like I never want to interview someone and feel like I don't know them or what I'm talking about. And that's more of a me thing than I think even any of our guests cared about. So what we do now is called a Terrify Together, where we will bring another podcaster or someone else on, and we tell stories, and so they react to the stories the same as we do. Their listener submitted, and we'll weave in questions about their creative projects or like what they're working on and things like that.
Yeah.
But the overarching kind of flow is we're still talking about stories. We're still getting reactions.
Like
Yeah.
when does this come out
Gosh,
roughly?
it might be a month.
Okay. Well, we
I just
gotta.
have a lot of stuff in the kitty. I mean, it could be whenever. It's
That's
I
okay.
mean,
I was just asking because we actually did a pretty big Terrified together, and I don't want this to come out before that comes out.
no, just
Because I was
we
gonna
can
I was
talk.
gonna say
We can talk. We can talk.
okay. Well, we did a Terrified together with Sinister.
I'll be honest. I was like, who's he talking about?
Sinister. That's a big fucking deal.
No, you know it. I didn't think of them and think not big. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the other night. And that was pretty awesome.
I was
Awesome.
familiar.
What was the first story that like genuinely rattled you,
Shit.
Or
of any of them? You know, like
Oh no,
this is
no.
bullshit.
There's definitely been creepy ones.
I'm not I'm not really a religious person, which is kind of a weird thing to cope with in terms of I do believe in ghosts, but even without much of an innate religious belief, anything that's demonic is just inherently 10 times scarier.
Yeah,
And
agreed.
so there's been like possession
There's
stories.
been quite a few that have gotten me.
There's been possession stories that we've covered that have really freaked me out. There's even like listener submitted ones where like they were talking about like the Ouija board demon was incredibly scary.
Do you remember the episode? I don't remember it. I don't remember what episode it was, but I know you did it. It was the first episode we turned off all the lights upstairs.
Oh.
And we just had a candle.
Was it Roland Doe?
I don't think so. Maybe.
It was a possession though.
Yeah, it was
wasn't
a possession.
It might have been Roland Doe. That one, yeah. But even like Women in Black, which are like the counterparts to Men in Black, like
Yep.
researching that one really freaked me out. And then just some of the stories, like that type of stuff really just
Annalise Michelle freaked me out research wise.
Yeah.
I remember specifically I was in my bedroom upstairs with my wife, and it was pretty late. It was a weekend, and there was only one light source in my lamp, and like my bedroom is like the whole attic, so it's pretty big, and I almost felt like something was behind the closet, like closet, like outshoots. I can almost feel something, like my eye, like eyes on me. You know,
Yeah.
it was eerie.
So then you
Oh,
shut
yeah.
it down, right? Till the next
Oh,
morning.
I shut that shit down real quick.
Yeah.
I turned on TV. I said, "Well, time to watch some
Time to-
television."
Time to watch Modern Family.
Yeah, Family Guy, something stupid and funny.
So,
Yeah, it's crazy how when you're researching, sometimes you just get that feeling like you shouldn't be. I think it's because there's movies and like there's, things out there where it's like once you start digging too deep, and once you start noticing it, it notices you noticing it.
If you stare
yeah.
into the abyss,
Right. For
Yeah.
sure.
So that like there'll be times I'd be researching, like the Women in Black was the one I was thinking of, and the way my office used to be positioned was right by a window. And I remember researching these stories, and they were just so creepy. And I was just expecting to like look out the window and in like a street light just see someone standing there looking up. And
Right. Just
obviously
watching you.
never happened,
No.
but just that
Yeah.
feeling.
if you stare into the abyss stares back.
Yeah, I had a incident like in behind my house, like woods. We have woods that back up to our house. So I
That's
had a
spooky.
little like an incident, and ever since then, I just like can't like I'll go to the sink to get water like before bed or whatever, and I'm just like staring out the window and I'm waiting.
But you
I'm
can't
like waiting for some like face to just be like or something.
you
know?
can't just say incident and not tell us what happened.
Oh, so I had I guess you would call it a encounter with like a Lilith type entity.
Oh.
And I had this for years, like, but it was more internal. And this incident, it was like 3 incidents. It became more external than all completely internal. And then, I took care of that shit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Have you ever
yeah,
heard
I mean,
have you
my
ever heard your
audience
name?
has heard the story like 50 times. So it's just one of those things.
Have you ever heard your name or anything called out from your woods?
Oh,
He's like a ton of times.
Yeah.
I've had not these woods, other woods though. Yes, for sure. I do a lot of research in the Allegheny National Forest, and there's some
Okay.
creepy shit that goes on there, friends. Let me tell you. So, I have heard my name twice. And when they say don't whistle at night, don't do it.
I can't whistle, so we're good. And your name's not like mistaken. You know what I mean? It's not like
No, it's
if
a
it's
pretty
like Bill
and it wasn't like
or
Ben,
Jack.
because like I grew up, people called me Ben, so
Yeah.
like that, maybe you could get right, but no, this was a flat out Bennett.
I will
Dang.
say though, in upstate New York, right? It could be beer cheese. They're like beer
It
cheese.
could be
Beer
dude.
cheese.
I don't know.
That's how
There's
they
a
get
lot
them
of
in the
pretzels
woods.
and beer cheese, man.
That's what I'm saying, which is
lot.
not bad.
They're trying to lure
It's a good-
people into the woods with
I'd
beer
be
Well,
cheese.
shot.
so and we're right there. We're right there at poutine.
Oh yeah.
Level too. So
Oh, I
like
love a good poutine.
so Canada's got it, but it only comes down so far, right? So we're still we still get the poutine, and that's just glorious shit right there. Just saying,
It's good stuff.
nectar of the gods.
I do
Something.
enjoy a good poutine. I've never had it in Canada, but I do enjoy it.
Damn. So so you guys get a lot of listener submissions, right? So
Yeah.
have you noticed noticed recurring themes? I know you have, but like same entities, same symbols, same types of encounters and stuff?
Let me tell you the most recurring theme that I never would have imagined in my life until we started getting these submissions. And it's not entity specific. It could be a ghost, it could be a shadow figure, it could be a creature. And so many times in these stories, people tell us, they're like, I was laying down and I looked up and I saw this thing in the corner, or I saw this thing out the window. And then I rolled over and I went to sleep. And the next day it wasn't there. And I'm like, you what? Like, I am shocked how many people see these things. And I don't know if it's their body just like shutting down or what, but so many times you're like, and then I fell asleep. And
then I went back to sleep and it was gone. Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
and then, it's I always point it out because it always shocks me.
That is kind of bizarre. Like, I know if I see something, it's on. Like,
high
shit's
alert.
going down in my room, especially if it's in my house, right?
He's got boxing gloves underneath his pillows.
Right,
Let's go,
yeah.
baby.
I was in the military for about 10 years, and then I was a cop after that. So
Okay.
shit goes down. That's all I have to say, I guess.
That's fair. What about you, Charlie? Is there anything you
theme? A lot of shadow people. A lot of shadow people. Very common entity. Not that it
seems
unusual,
like especially
but
lately, like within the last 2 years or so.
Yeah.
For me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like almost for every one alien story, there's like 50 shadow person stories.
Yeah, no, I would definitely.
Which again is not bad or unusual. It's just a pattern that I notice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It just is, right?
Yeah.
So, do you think that like most paranormal things like fall into neat categories, or is there something bigger tying things together, like cryptid, UFOs, hauntings? Like, is there things, congruencies that are holding them together or tying them together?
It's a quote. I can't remember who it's from, but it's just that it's all tied together.
Man, you're dropping dime quotes today, man. That's 3 for 3.
Just call me
Steph Curry over here with these quotes.
It's all tied together. I know it is somehow. Obviously, I don't know how.
Yeah.
But some group out there is going to figure it out. How it's all tied together.
I think of it more as a perspective thing. I think we like putting things in boxes.
Of course.
I'll give you an example. Like, we just recently revisited one of our older episodes about the not deer.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole cryptid is this thing that's pretending to be a deer, but it's not a deer. And I have a hard time thinking that there is one type of specific entity that is the not deer, personally. But if you have a bigger umbrella of like mimic creatures, skinwalker type thing, something pretending to be something else and just doesn't perfectly match it, then I think for me that's just so much easier to believe.
Mhm.
I don't like for me the paranormal is so much easier to consume when you allow it to be a gray area. Because when you start putting it in boxes and everything's black and white, it's so much easier to discredit it. Which we are certainly in this for more for the entertainment. And if we're just dropping episode after episode, where it's like unbelievable, 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 it's kind of like yeah. But and I think that limits the wonder of it. Now I think like aliens are aliens and ghosts are ghosts. But you could say I have some very, very religious friends that are like, there's no such thing as aliens. Aliens are demons, right?
Yeah.
And to them, you have that congruence of alien is demon. They're not these beings from space, where other people very comfortably are like, no, demons exist, but there's also these beings from outer space that are aliens, right?
The extraterrestrial versus, interstellar, interdimensional, whatever you want to call them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I understand for sure.
There's also I'm sorry to cut you
No,
off.
go ahead. Go,
And
go.
there's also the idea that, the aliens and Fey entities are like the same kind of trickster
Right.
entity. The Hildefolk in Norwegian culture, I
Mhm.
do think there is maybe some merit to that as well. I don't know.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I it's one of those things like I will never I never discount any of it, especially people's stories. I mean, sometimes people are just full of shit, and you sometimes you can tell they are right, but
Yes.
sometimes you can't, and that's okay. It's okay. It really is, and it doesn't matter. I am not the paranormal story police, right? I'm just
Right.
not, and I'm sure you guys are not either.
We try
Um,
not to be. We try not to be.
yeah, you try to be open to it, but sometimes you're just like, "Oh, damn." You're like, "I don't know."
We got a
But
submission where somebody said they did hand-to-hand combat in the woods with a
In
skinwalker.
an octagon,
And yeah, it was like, all right, like
or
I'll tell your story.
it's like
It was a clearing in the
he like
woods.
put a knife on his foot, and the skinwalker put a knife on his foot, and like
wow. Like,
Yeah, it was, and I was like, I give you credit for sending this in, but
yeah.
right.
Although sometimes Tyler's he has a master's in creative writing, and sometimes he will cinema sins a story, and that's
a what?
okay. Sometimes you will cinema sins like a story, like, I think there's a problem in this third act.
There's certain times where you can see the flowery language, and
Yeah,
Yes.
there's certain, but also I don't want to make someone's story seem fake because they're a good writer.
but I'm also gullible as shit too. Like,
Yeah.
if they, yeah, did you see that? He said,
It's
yeah,
good to have
Yeah.
suspension of disbelief when we're doing the podcast because we
Right.
are entertainment. We're not trying to convince anyone of
No.
anything.
No. Agreed. And that's me too. All I do is plant seeds, man. Hence the name, broadcasting seeds.
Yeah.
I just want I want people to head towards thinking. It's because I fully believe in the spiritual realm, and I've had Sasquatch encounters. Obviously we talked about the Lilith thing, and I've had paranormal experiences from when I was a child. So with that being said, that shit's real, and it's real to me. And I'm telling you, from my experience, I would go to the grave, die, swear on my life, whatever. This is my true story, right? So I don't ever want to like tell somebody they're full of shit. It's just not who I am, and it's not what we're doing here, right? But like with that, have you guys ever received a submission that felt like off? And I mean off in like something attached to it.
Oh,
not that I've noticed.
like something attached to the submission, like came to us from them.
Yeah,
Or
like maybe they are like somebody. You can take it however, like cursed, or that maybe there was some that you had weird experiences after you told the story, things like that. Something along those lines.
someone hand wrote us notes one time.
Oh, that was crazy.
You were gonna do that episode.
There was an episode to it, dude.
Yeah, that was a lot.
So
I don't have an answer for us, but we were, and I can't say who it is because they asked us not to, unfortunately. But like 2 years ago, we were doing a collab with another podcaster from Ohio, and they did a whole
It's
long
about 6
podcast.
billion of them.
Yeah, I know. I didn't feel bad saying that because it doesn't
You
narrow it
can't
down at
figure
all.
it out.
But she did it was like a full season, like 13 or 14 episodes
Yeah.
of her paranormal experiences and these really terrifying events that
It
she
was-
went through in her apartment. But she
Yeah.
told us that when people were listening to her podcast, they started experiencing things in their
Oh.
home.
That was
Nice.
truly an
Wow.
incredible story.
Yeah. And then we were all ready to release the stuff, and she sent us a message and she was like, I got a new job. It's very professional. I'm dropping the podcast. Please don't publish the interview. And I was like,
Wow.
shit.
Damn it.
But and so we can't even, like, we've probably referenced it so many times.
Yeah.
But
You can't disclose.
there's been times where we've done episodes and we have felt small little things happen
Yeah.
in studio, but nothing huge, nothing credible. And thankfully, I don't think anything has come through.
I don't think so.
One guy had a very, very haunted apartment, and he sent us all these YouTube videos of it. And so I was cutting it up to put on social media. And I remember having the feeling while I was editing it that it's just like, because I'm rewatching it over and over and over again. And it's like legitimate, like, footage of like things moving, something flying off of a chair. And I felt so like exposed editing it. And I'm like, please stay wherever
Yeah.
you are. But thankfully, unless you can think of anything, I don't think we've had anything come
Not
through.
really.
Yeah, I have a lot of shit happen. It's so weird. But I'm in a like a deeper, like, you guys are more on like the comedic. I don't
Yeah.
comedy's not the right way to describe your podcast.
We
But you're
tried.
on the lighter side. You're on the
Yes.
lighter side for
100%,
sure.
100%,
Yeah.
yes.
And I get like straight spiritual warfare sometimes. Like I get in it, and
That's so interesting to me. I don't know if I could survive that.
yeah, stuff comes through, man. Like I have to pray before every single podcast I do, or else stuff doesn't work all the time. Every time I forgot to pray, I'm telling you, it's so bizarre. Like my door will crack and come open. But see, here's the thing. I'm sensitive to all
Yeah.
this stuff. So I can tell you there's nothing in my home, at least that I can sense. But yet, like, the door will open and do some kind of crazy shit, guys. I mean, yeah. Anyway, this isn't about me. This is about you guys.
No, it's okay. It's
That's okay.
Yeah, I'm not very sensitive, and Charlie's a little bit more sensitive than I am. But
Yeah, he was born into it, man.
Well, yeah, but I'm not. I feel like if I worked at it, I'd probably be like super
Right.
sensitive. But I
don't want to
don't.
be.
I don't
right?
want it. I don't want the smoke.
No, it's kind of spooky and weird, and it just is, man. So
I do want to go ghost hunting desperately though.
yeah, so that was one of my next things I was going to ask. Have you guys ever like gone out and like done any investigations of anything? You know,
Dabbled is a good way to put that.
Yeah, there's two experiences that come to mind. In 2014, we one of my friends from high school was visiting. We were doing some filming stuff, and I didn't want the night to be over, and we were watching Ghost Adventures, and I just started Googling like haunted locations in Akron, and I convinced him to go to the cemetery in Akron that was supposedly haunted. And it's so funny because this is our first true ghost hunting experience together. And like we saw orbs, and then at the very end of the night, like we were so caught off guard. Like we went from being really creeped out to like at the back of the cemetery, like talking about how beautiful the scenery was, the moon. Like we felt like comfortable. You could have laid down. We were so comfortable.
yeah,
And then my friend was taking pictures of the moon, and he saw these orbs like shoot at him, and we heard this super loud noise. So we're like rushing out of there, and my buddy's taking pictures behind us.
Yeah.
And I've never felt more like we were being stalked out of a place.
Yeah, it's fun. Yo, you felt almost like the pressure behind you.
Yeah.
And like it's funny because my friend too, is more athletic than both of us put together. And so he's like running circles around. It's like, oh my god!
Well, he
guys,
was
did you
walking
see
backwards, keeping up with us because he was taking pictures behind us.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, don't leave me, because I'm like trying not to die.
yeah,
right.
And then
it's like the theory with the bear, right? You have to be the
I'm the
fastest.
friend. Yeah, it was. Oh my god, I would have came up running, but totally possessed.
mm, And then so we get back to the car and we hook up the phone to the car and we listen to our EVPs. And in one of the clips, we say, "Is there anything you want us to do?" And just very faintly, you can hear, "Just go back."
Mm,
And then one of our photos, there's like a really weird like streak in it, and
yep.
in the streak you can kind of make out a face, like a very tribal looking face, and that was taken when we were getting pushed out. So in my mind, I'm like, well, this is gonna happen every time.
Exactly. Yeah. Right.
I have
Right.
never gone ghost hunting in a cemetery and caught anything since.
Yeah.
No.
But for Halloween last year,
Yeah.
we did go to the Sally house in Kansas.
Kansas. Atchison, Kansas.
Yeah, and thankfully there were some other ghost hunters there, and they like let us borrow some of their equipment and stuff like that. I'll let you talk about your wife had some experiences.
Oh yeah, so we were listening to like the we're trying to do like the
Estes,
Estes
yeah.
method, and my wife was hearing some stuff in the Estes method,
Ooh.
and our friend Parker, who is not a believer,
He was like boldly like, "Why isn't there anyone here? Why don't you show yourself? Why don't you do something?" Like he was, he was
stupid?
He's like antagonistic, right?
yes, he's being
Yeah,
abrasive.
just he didn't believe in it. Well, he still doesn't believe in it.
So I'm
but-
down. So I'm like, our tour was over. We were there for, and well, this was the middle point. This is an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm going down the stairs, and I just hear Charlie yelling, "Tyler, come back here. We need a picture now." And I'm like,
Yeah,
all right.
because I was behind Parker. We were literally heading out down the stairs.
Shout out Parker.
Yeah. And he was like, my back feels weird. Can you check it for me? I think he was kidding. But
I don't think he said it felt weird. I think he said, "Why don't you check my back?"
He said, I don't know. I don't know why it came up. I'll never remember.
Because the lady got scratched.
Is that why?
Yeah, the girl, as soon as we got there, a lady said she got scratched.
Yeah.
So I think he was calling back to that. But yeah, he was joking. He was being a smartass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I checked his back, and you know what? There were 3 big scratches down his whole back.
He was going through it for a while after that.
Yeah.
But I mean, he believes in demons, and that's what's supposed to be there.
Yeah.
So
It's
it
crazy.
fits
too.
in his realm of belief.
The tour before ours, we went on a daytime tour. The tour before ours, there was this group there, and they were like, they came out basically screaming. They're like, the basement door was shaking.
And they heard thumping.
And they heard thumping in the basement door. And that door is locked.
Yeah.
No one can go down there.
Yeah, right. They won't let anyone down there.
So they saw that door shaking, heard thumping behind it.
Wow. That would.
It's so funny too, because we were there for 2 hours, 1 hour for us and 1 hour we had some patrons come and hang out from the podcast. And it was like from 1 to 3, and it was like 1:07, and we had pretty much done the whole house. And I'm like, oh God. Like, what am I gonna
What
do?
are we gonna do?
For
Oh
the
my
next
God.
hour and 50 minutes? And
Yeah.
it went like this. It was amazing. It was and terrifying.
I was so close to booking us an overnight for me and Tyler.
Oh my God, I would have been so scared.
Yeah, and I'm telling
Yeah.
you guys, that's the best way. Is you gotta immerse yourself in it and suck it up and drive on.
Let me be clear. I would have done it. They just didn't have any time slots.
Yeah, it was booked.
Right.
It was booked.
Oh, gotcha. That is the way to do it, though. I mean, and again, you'll only do it like if you don't have. It's just like you said. You've never had any experiences after that one in the cemetery, right? You've never had any more cemetery experiences, but yeah, it's one of those things like you'll never do it again, but you got to do it at least once. So, is there any topic that like you guys approach cautiously now that you didn't when maybe you started?
I haven't answered this.
I do too, but I'm
Do you
curious.
want to go first?
No, you go first.
Okay. I've still not done it.
Oh yeah.
I've had this idea since we started the podcast, so it's been about 6-7 years. Have you seen Hereditary?
Is that the one with Hugh Grant?
I don't think so.
I don't
Well,
think
maybe
so.
unless he's the dad. I don't know though.
I
No.
don't know.
No.
I'm not good with actors.
No, I'm not. I don't
That's
think I
okay.
have.
Okay, it's a very creepy movie. And it's about a person, people, occults, and the worship of one of the kings of hell, Payman. And it's a topic that I really want to talk about is the kings of hell.
Yeah.
And every time I've sat down to maybe start doing research on it, I almost get nauseous. I get sick. I still can't do it. It just freaks the fuck out of me. I'm sorry I was swearing.
Oh no, you can swear all you want.
Okay. It just freaks me out. And, I don't know if I ever will. I hope I do one day do it. I I come from also my grandma is the most Catholic person who's ever Catholic. Um, and
Gotcha.
so I grew up with that, and also my dad's pretty Catholic toward the end of his life, and then so there's like religion there as well. It's almost like hovering over me. It's like you shouldn't talk about this.
Yeah, right.
Um,
I get it.
so that's the topic for me. That's just like still holds me.
I'll put the pressure on you. You got to do it, otherwise I'm gonna do it poorly.
You just
And then
you
you gotta
just
live
gave
with
me
that.
you just gave me show ideas. Just saying.
Okay.
No.
I would say what I approach cautiously now is I think when we first started, I didn't take topics as seriously, and I didn't take the cultures associated with the topics as seriously. And then once you start getting feedback from people where they're like, "Hey, I'm so happy you covered this topic that's in our culture, but this or that, or you didn't get this, that, or you mispronounced this." And so now I think I would say both of us, but I'll speak for myself here. I think we do a good job of trying to go a little step further about why something is looked at that way from the culture, or if something feels silly to us, maybe take a different angle at it because we're not, trying to make fun of anyone else's culture or anything like that.
Yeah,
And
of
also,
course.
like, for me in my notes that I write, I always bold the words that I know I don't know how to say. And then the day of the episode, like I'll go through YouTube and spend an hour like making sure I'm listening to these words back. So even if it's not like perfect, at least I'm making a conceited effort to sound, to say it right, just out of respect. Because I think when you think of it truly, and I try to do this because if I start thinking too much of people listening, then I'm in my own head and I'm not present. But I think when we started, because we had never had an audience with any of our other creative projects, from
Right.
music to acting to our
I
first
know the
podcast,
feeling.
and so it's just me and Charlie, and we can be silly and we can be and when you were talking about like us being a comedy podcast, in ways we are jealous of the podcast that can just say the wildest shit and not care, because
Yeah.
we will say a funny joke but we'll tell like, hey, we're gonna have to cut this, but for our own enjoyment, let's say it, and then
Mhm.
it's cut. So we're
Yeah.
not quite that spectrum where we can just say the wildest shit. But I think when we first started, I wasn't thinking that there was someone with headphones on listening to us, and then we started getting more feedback, and I'm like, okay, we need to
Yeah.
pull the reins in a little bit.
Like going to the Menonangle. I think that's it, right?
Mananangal, I think.
Menonangle.
Mananangal.
I always mess it up. When I did that episode, I would say I tried pretty hard with the how to say it. I'm not that good at it. But I will say people in that culture, they were so kind to me. They're like, "Listen, you really did not do well saying it, but you did really well covering it." And I was like, "Okay, thank you."
Right.
No.
If tomorrow you had like undeniable proof that one category was real, like whether it's Bigfoot or aliens or demons, ghosts, which one would surprise you the least?
Alien.
That they're real?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say aliens. I think that's already happened, right? Like, I
Yes.
feel like
Yeah,
it already
kind of.
has come out, and people are like, "I got bills to pay, bro." Like,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
I think if the same, except like in the 70s, if as much information from our government about aliens came out then, I think people would be shocked.
Yeah.
It's I don't know, like I don't know if it's just because we got so much going on, or
You still
Well,
have to live your
it's like
life.
everyone acts like disclosure's this big thing, and to me, it's just not. It's like, okay, yeah, I don't know about you guys, but
You just gotta keep living. You just gotta keep doing your thing. I mean,
right,
what does it truly matter in the grand scheme of thing? I think it's very interesting.
well, it
But
hasn't affected us either.
exactly, that's my point. It doesn't affect
Yeah.
us. Like we still have to live our life.
yeah,
Like if it
and
was Independence Day, right? And they're like coming down, and
of
that's
course,
different.
like
But
invading, right?
Yeah.
And that's obviously, but you got bigger problems then.
Yeah,
It's not
exactly.
nobody
yeah.
gives a shit.
They're not gonna
It's
listen to your
about
podcast about it.
No, they're not going to be like, oh my God, let me turn on, whatever, believing the bizarre. I almost said it, but I
It's
didn't.
tough. Yeah, you did good.
But they're not going to come to us as like, what's going on? They're not. It's
Well, but
like,
isn't it okay? So I think this is really interesting because there are people in this world that don't believe in ghosts or don't know if ghosts are real and they're skeptical, but you know they're real. You believe in them. You
yeah.
know what I mean? And it's so interesting where like even it's like the ignorance is bliss. I think some people just truly don't believe, but
Mhm.
even myself, I believe in ghosts. If I hear a creepy noise at night, ghosts aren't real. That goes through my head. And I don't even believe it, but I'm telling myself that to cope. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But for instance, like people who have had, like one of our friends in college, he was his roommate, claimed to see a Victorian dressed woman who other people had reported seeing in our dorm
Yeah.
walk through a door. And I just remember thinking, like, I have seen CGI Hollywood films of a ghost going through a wall, but you got to see it in real life. And you know
Yeah.
what? You can't take that back.
But that's a crazy story too, because like our friend Alex was telling us that story with Tyler's wife, and you could see she started like to almost cry because her boss had told her the exact same thing.
Like seeing this woman down the hall and they're not friends. But it's just like he no longer gets to live in existence not believing something after life, even if it's not the way
Yeah.
that it's perceived by some people. It's like it's not in a box like we were talking about earlier. It's not narrowed down. But I feel like once you have an experience, unless you're in such denial, you don't get to live with the ignorance of like, there's probably no such thing as ghosts. There's probably nothing after that.
Right. I agree. It's like there's one, but it's like once you rip that Band-Aid off the wound, right? It opens to all of it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like this podcast started as a Sasquatch podcast, right? Because I was, gonna be the guy. I was gonna be the one, right? That made it real and found it and the whole thing. And then you realize, oh my God, this is way bigger. Like, I mean, there's a huge difference, and we all say it. Like when you say believing or like bizarre, what are you really measuring? What are we measuring? Are we measuring evidence, gut feelings, consistency? What are you actually measuring, right? And
Hmm.
and the bottom line is there's a difference between I will admit that I am and I call myself a knower, or an experiencer because I've had multiples, and until you just like admit it to yourself or like you're real with yourself, like looking in the mirror and going, there's some weird shit going on out there. It can be bizarre since,
Yeah,
uh,
but would you want to live in a world like you go through it more than we go through? We've already established that. Like you pray before every episode. You have things happen if you don't. Like we can tell ghost story and then go on with our day. And but there's some times where it's like, and I truly hate saying this, but there are times where it's like wake up, work, pay my bills, go grocery shopping. We're recording tonight, content. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And it's like sometimes I try to make myself more present for these episodes. Like that
yep,
those are the times where we turn the lights off, which we can't do anymore because we do video. Damn it. But it's like sometimes I have to remind myself to step back and it's like these things happen. These are real. This is a story about something mysterious that makes our world feel bigger than it is. It's not just content. But I think so many people, and myself included, you get caught up in the grind of life that it can be really refreshing to remind yourself to step back and think about these things. Think about these. Some of them are very scary, and obviously with
yeah,
demons, it's bad. But when if somebody sees a UFO or something, that just adds a little bit more to this world than I
yeah.
gotta I get paid tomorrow and then the rent comes out and
True, right. It breaks up the monotony, right?
yes, yeah.
For sure. But I think you have to be open to it, obviously. So, I mean, yeah. So,
I got the deadbolt off, but my knob is still a little locked.
Right,
I'm not
right,
trying to
gotcha.
invite stuff in.
No, right. Absolutely, for sure.
Oh, I was gonna ask you. Sorry, I'm not trying to derail, but as you said, you were starting out Bigfoot. Do you believe that Bigfoot is interdimensional?
I do.
Yes.
I lean that way. I just because here's the thing. You're uh I'm pretty agnostic about everything. Meaning I'm not a dogmatic person. I'm just not. And at the end of the day, I'm open to all evidence coming out. Like give it to me, tell me what it is, and I will make my own decision. Right. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not a sheep. I never have been, I never will be. So with that being said, definitely I definitely am open to all of it. There's times I've been like, man, this is flesh and blood. And then there's other times I'm like, well, some crazy shit just happened. And uh there's no way it's flesh and blood, or it's flesh and blood, but it's got magical powers or
Yeah.
something. Like I've had the whole gamut of uh experiences that I can't say it's just that. I just can't say it's flesh and blood. So in turn, the way I look at it is that if Bigfoot isn't flesh and blood, or if it's open to interpretation, then it all is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I, that
We had a story. I honestly I can't remember if someone sent it to us or if it was found online, but it's like somebody was hiking and they like accidentally stumbled through a Bigfoot portal. Do you
I,
remember that story?
Yeah, that's from the Bigfoot episode.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was talking about the interdimensionality of Bigfoot, but it's
mhm.
like somebody just like was like in it and then they like quickly pulled themselves out of it. I can't speak more intelligently about it. It was just like years ago that we told that
Yeah,
story, but
but
every hearing
that
that
stuff's
is just kind of like
wild. Yeah,
yes, it's like whoa, like
yeah. Yeah, but people are really I mean, unfortunately you've got it's like everything though, right? You've got these people that draw the line in the sand um because there's money at stake and there's ego gets involved as we you know because people which they do it with everything. It's not just cryptids or paranormal or it's in everything in life. People attach their identity to it. And
right.
when people do that, it's usually not a good thing. So, like, especially when someone comes through trying to crash or because now
Yeah.
it's you're assaulting my entire identity. So
Yeah. I probably lean more like there's probably more things I should take a harder stand on. I tend to lean more ambiguous, more wishy-washy and like,
and you know what?
I
That's freaking perfectly fine, man. I
I
I
s
think it's
I save my tribalism for Cleveland sports, and
right.
it
There you
takes
go,
up enough
right?
of it. Everything else is gray area, but
Yeah. I used
this
to
is
be a
my
pretty big Indians fan
yeah, yeah, like,
back in
the
the day. Back
90s,
in the day. Back in the
95,
day.
97.
Well, I went to high school with Charles Nagy.
Mm, great
So,
pitcher.
yeah. So
Great picture, I've
he
heard.
was I knew him for years. So, yeah, I remember I lived in New York when they played uh when the Yankees and the Indians were playing in the oh, wasn't the World Series, was it? Or was it?
ALCS, ALDS, whatever those
Yeah, it was so but I just remember it was amazing being that that's games. Anyway,
yeah, yeah.
um so has there ever been, I'm sure there has been, but has there ever been an episode where you guys like disagreed strongly on the final verdict?
Uh,
Uh,
gosh.
maybe
I'm
fairies.
sure there are. There's
Maybe fairies. Because I mean, we still had a hard impasse about that. Because I believe in them deeply.
yeah, fairies are just something that I'm not, it's, I'll
You're gonna get pants by a fairy one day.
no, I'm gonna give you a little there like how do I wanna say this? entertainers that I look up to, that I've been able to learn behind the scenes, I've seen things where on their show they lean into something, even if in their real life they're like, it is what it is. But on the show, they lean into it. And so, like, Charlie has been dubbed the lover of history and the lover of fairies. And it's like, it's a no, and I'm like the big Cleveland sports guy. And so it's known like, oh, Tyler hates history episodes, Tyler hates Fae. And I lean into that because of the entertainment aspect of it. And
Gotcha.
being very honest, I don't truly believe in Fae that much, but I definitely lean more into it in not being real for
It's true.
entertainment value. But I feel like we've had some like either ghost or alien things where we've gone. There's nothing like jumping out at me, but
I can't
there
think of
are
one.
times where
Yeah, we don't always agree.
I think it's not. Sometimes it's not like what it is; it's whether or not it's real. Like he might go believable on something, and I'll go skeptical, or I'll go viable, and he'll go unbelievable, and we'll have those moments of like, why don't you think this is true? And well, I think it was this. I think this is what happened. That's why. Or like sometimes we'll sway each other. Like
Yeah, that
you'll be
happens.
telling a story, and as you're telling it, you think it's believable, and then the other co-host will completely blow it up based on this one detail that the other person didn't think of. And you're like, damn, I was gonna go believable on that, but I guess I'm going skeptical now. The
Right.
the, the convenience is that we both, with all these other little things, we both very much believe in aliens and very much believe in ghosts.
Yeah, very
So as
paranormal.
long as somebody doesn't send us a story where it's just like so outwardly hard to believe, we
Yeah.
typically align in that. Um, but there's
So is anything that you've labeled, right? Whether it's skeptical or uh oh my
Oh,
gosh.
like
viable.
unbelievable or something like
Yeah,
that, or
unbelievable has later made you reconsider?
oh
Yeah. So we do this like series. It's like throwback episodes. We've been revisiting older episodes, and the one we just did recently, I went skeptical when we first did it, but I went believable.
the nod deer.
Yeah.
I'm still low on
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Womp
I
wampus
haven't I
cat.
haven't experienced that, but dude, it's kind of freaks me out. It's one of those ones where I'm like, I don't know.
They're very eerie.
They are
Yeah.
definitely. Do you guys think that we're living in a time where like more things are happening? Like
No,
the veil feels thinner.
I don't think
Let's
so.
use the language. The veil feels thinner.
I feel like it's always been as thin as it's always been.
Yeah.
Maybe less so because of modern technology. I feel like if you look at like the Crucible, right? They talk about the forest as if it is actually magic lives in the forest, and you
Mhm.
didn't go there because it would have destroyed you, because that's where the witches lived. And I feel like because of that, there was more energy given to those kinds of entities, creatures, and that's where and all these things came from older cultures, right? And because of that, there's so much stock in feeding it like that, uh, there
Yeah.
was more energy blossoming from it. But you can go on the internet today and see an AI deepfake, and it just kills every belief you have in it.
Yeah. I would say I don't think anything with the veil has changed. I think people are we're the most distracted I think we've ever been. I've only lived for 34 years, so I can't speak, you know,
Right. Right.
beyond that. But I mean, the hustle culture that we're in right now is so intense, and it's so no one has time to go experience things themselves, and they're not going to believe it online like they used to because AI is taken over. So I don't think people are getting those experiences themselves unless you live in a haunted house. But I don't think people are going out and having experiences, and I don't think I think when anybody sees any video or any footage or pictures online, the initial instinct is, yeah, it's
It's
probably
so
AI.
easy to go at this AI.
But I do think people believe. Like I don't think there's any stigma to believing in this stuff, which I
Yeah,
feel like
not definitely way less.
yeah. Like I feel like from what I've read and what I've seen in like 60s, 70s, like how many alien stories do you hear? People are like, I didn't come out until years later because I didn't want my town to think
A
I was
lot.
crazy. Now I feel like people be like, whoa, you want to be on my podcast? Yeah, tell me
Yeah.
about it.
Well,
Right, right,
nothing
right.
good is-
Everybody's got a freaking podcast.
Nothing
Yeah.
good has ever happened to a person that has come out and said, I've seen an alien. I feel like there's no amount of money. They don't make a lot of money. The life falls apart. I feel like it's never good for them.
Yeah, usually, right? I would agree.
I can't name one person. I can't name one. Except for
Uh,
maybe Travis Walton. That's had a
Yeah,
better
but
life.
even that he was like tortured, man.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
his whole life was just this tortured type of like existence. So
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. What scares you more? The idea none of this is real, or that it all is?
I can't accept that it's not real. I don't live in a world like Tyler
Where
said.
it's not real.
Yeah, no, I don't. Some of it has to be real, therefore a lot of it has to be real to me. So the idea that I feel like I missed the question.
Which would be a scarier.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's scarier to live in a world where it's not real because I can't accept that it's not.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I would agree. I mean, the part of life is like when I was talking about like the grind, you know what I mean? It's like it's so much more fun to imagine that there is weird stuff out there. And even myself, I believe in aliens and ghosts. There are low moments where I'm like, man, that's not real. Like this stuff isn't real. It's just like taxes, bills, work, clock in, clock out,
Oh,
and then it's so
the
hard.
grind, right?
I know it sucks. And sometimes when you try and fit like skinwalkers into that, not that that's not a good thing, but or
Right.
Fresno Nightcrawler,
Not usually.
like a Fresno Nightcrawler, right? Like
Yeah.
that thing, like imagining that thing like
What
is
is
real.
that all about, man?
And
It's the weirdest thing ever.
but also it's like ghosts, if you're not a religious person, ghosts still give you somewhat of like a when I die this isn't it. And if none of the paranormal stuff is real and you take the religious or spiritual aspect out of it, then it is kind of a harsh reality of like, this is it, And
Yeah, right.
it's funny because you could, at the two people going through different things in life, one could cope and say there's no such thing as the paranormal and there's no scariness out there. And then the next person can have to cope and say, no, there is more than this,
Yeah, for sure. So kind of wrapping things up a little. What if something, I don't know why this popped in my head, but if something truly supernatural showed up in your studio tonight, would you hit record or would you run?
You're putting that out there.
Yeah,
No,
you're like,
I'm just
I'm gonna
saying.
send
I'm
that
just
shit.
You gotta mail us a crystal or something if you're gonna do that.
Shit.
I don't know. Well,
Can you give us an example? Like what do we experience?
I mean, something truly supernatural. Like if all of a sudden, like like the screen started flickering a little bit and then it got cold.
It's already cold right now.
Yeah, we got our heat off. But okay. If something's
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'll be
got
honest.
you.
I have two completely different reactions, assuming I'm here with Charlie or if I was here by myself.
right.
If I was here by myself, I'm out. I mean, there's times in this times in this hallway. I mean, we've watched horror movies here before where
Yeah.
I'm just like, ugh, yeah. But if we were together, I think I'd like to think I would get my phone out and like try and
Shit.
hit record.
I would probably go in freeze mode a little. Like I'd probably be like hyper aware, like frozen, looking all around, trying to see like, is that it? Is it over? Is there something else?
Yeah, I try to record my phone by being out of fucking storage.
Right.
I'd be deleting wonderful memories of my son.
Yeah.
My son's first steps is deleted.
Yeah.
I gotta catch this.
like a teenage girl whose dad won't
Yeah.
pay for like freaking
That's how I live
storage.
my life, brother. God damn.
It's $2.99 a month, Dad.
Yeah, I
Because
don't know.
that's me. I'm that guy. Just so you know.
I would like to think that I would try and capture it but I would be genuinely scared. Like I'm not a hard ass. Like
Like
I would be
Right.
scared even if I tried.
let's say like an apparition appeared, like you have to try.
Oh,
Oh my
man.
god,
I
it'd
will.
truly be life changing.
I will. It would be. I will say though, because we have many, many, many stories that have been sent to us, and outside of demonic or cryptid, like if we're talking spiritual ghosts, it's very rare that anyone gets injured. You
Mm.
know, like
Yeah.
it's we even like poltergeist stories, like we don't get a lot of they threw something at me or I was scratched, or I mean scratches might be like the extent, but that's normally not just like shadow figure. But normally it's just like I saw this thing and I got scared, or I heard
Yeah,
my name, or like creepy things. But typically in our stories people don't get injured. So I mean I'm not that's probably gonna be harder to convince myself if I see something right in front of me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
be the
Right.
exception, not the rule. But
What? So you bring up horror movies a lot. What's your favorite? What's your favorite horror movie?
oh my goodness, I my
Or is
top.
it like a? Is it like a like a series or something?
No, I can look back on my time now in life and see like my most impressionable years. Like on my video game side of my life, like whatever was happening in my brain between like 2004 and 2006, it like stuck with me because I'm like big on Resident Evil 4,
Mm.
GTA, San Andreas, and Metal Gear Solid like 3 Snake Eater. But for whatever reason, I feel like my most impressionable years of life with movies is like 2010 to 2012 because I love The Conjuring, I love Insidious, and I love Sinister, and those all
Yeah.
came out within like 3 years of each other.
Yeah, those are really good movies too. I'm old school, man. So I go back to my favorite set of was the Evil Dead movies.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, do you like the remakes at all?
I mean, they're goofy, but they're okay. It's just not as good to me.
Okay. You like the Bruce Campbell?
I do. I like Bruce Campbell a lot.
I remember.
I mean, he gets a little wacky later, but the first two movies
Yeah.
I
pretty
we were
intense
watching
too.
that in our apartment in college, and I don't remember what point it was. I walked out. I was like, guys, have a good night. I'm not watching this.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
Evil Dead's great, and then you find
yeah.
out like the shoestring budget it had,
Oh
but it was
God,
still
yeah.
so good.
But the first two movies especially, and then you get weird with Army of Darkness. It's funny. It's funny, and then Ash. What was the show that they had, like Ash of the Dead or whatever the
Mhm.
hell? They kind of brought it back, but the first two movies aren't really like that. I mean, they kind of are, but dude, it gets deep. So
Is that Sam Raimi? Is he the
Yeah,
director?
I think so.
I
Yeah,
think so too.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, no, Evil Dead. Yeah, I like the Freddy Kruegers, the Nightmare on Elm Street,
yeah.
Friday the 13th, and Halloween and stuff. But it's like I that wasn't quite my childhood. And it's funny, I'm a 90s kid, so like Scream actually hits me harder than those ones. But I appreciate all of them. I'm not my probably hottest take. I'm not a big fan of the Alien movies.
Okay.
I don't know
I used to
why.
watch Hellraiser a lot too.
That's Hell. No matter what age I watch Hellraiser, I feel like I'm too young to watch it.
Yeah,
And
it's like
I don't
it's
mean that it's
definitely yeah.
I don't mean
It
that it's dated, but like I'm too young. I just mean like I like that feeling you got when you were like up late at night and a scary movie was on and you just
right.
knew like this is too intense, this is too real. Like I watched it. I was like almost 18 when I watched Hellraiser, and I just remember thinking like this is bad. This is dark stuff, man.
Right.
Like this is the
This is all
Cenobites
just
and
bad.
stuff. Like, yeah, some of like I feel like this is how some people feel with like Saw, like the gore stuff. Like
Yeah.
Hellraiser has its gore moments, but there's just something so like dark and evilish
It's
about it.
just all so implied, and you're like, oh, I know. I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah, and it's just like, ugh, I felt like, ugh, watching it. But I
Yeah.
mean, it did its job, you know?
You definitely want to like cleanse yourself after you watch those movies.
Yes.
You're like, holy shit.
100%. 100%.
All right. So the name of the show is Broadcasting Seeds. And what I like to do is let the guests end the episode with their own seed planting. So I'd like you to plant some seeds in the audience's mind. It can be about anything. It can be parenting advice, whatever. I'm just saying.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Don't show your child the Night of Living Dead at age of 5.
The original one?
The original one, yeah. The
Gotcha.
black and white, yeah.
Oof.
Okay, this kind of goes to something we were talking about earlier, and it can apply to paranormal, but doesn't have to. And it could even be sports, because I have to do this from time to time. I would say anyone who feels tribal, I don't know if tribalistic is a word. If anyone, well, I'll use it. If anyone feels tribalistic about something, it's okay. It's okay to question it, and it's okay to change your opinion with new information, no matter what it is. Your identity is not in a belief you had 10 years ago or a month ago. And it's, yes, there'll be some people in your life that are like, oh, but you always said this. And it's like, well, but then this, you're allowed to change, you're allowed to grow. I would say, look at all the areas in your life that you feel tribalistic, even if it's sports, and question if it's just question it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I would say, truthfully, I think that you and everyone listening should listen to the spirits around you.
I thought you were going to
And
say our podcast.
well, if
That too,
you're
that
so
too,
inclined,
Here's a seed every Tuesday. Sorry, bro. I interrupted you.
But he
It's okay.
whispers it. He's whispering.
So I truly do believe, like I said earlier, I truly believe in fairies, and I think that listeners should embrace that as well. And if there's something that they're missing or something that they need help finding, that you should ask the fae for help and offer them a reward, and it might happen. I don't know.
Isn't that from a movie? I do
No.
believe in fairies.
Yeah, Peter Pan.
I know. I'm the father of 4 daughters.
Peter
trust me.
Pan.
I know Peter Pan. Oh my God. I know Tinkerbell even better, but this thing.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I really appreciate you coming on. I think it's been a fun conversation.
Yeah, no, this was great. We appreciate it for sure.
Tell everybody where they can find you again.
Just search Believing the Bizarre wherever you listen. If you listen on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, like watching on YouTube, we work hard to try and show up if you at least search our name.
Yeah. If you search it, we will be there.
Even if you search Believing in the Bizarre, there's probably a really good chance
It'll come up.
In the Bizarre.
We interviewed one of Charlie's heroes, and one of the first things he's like, Believing in the Bizarre. And I know a tiny part of Charlie's heart.
It did shatter a little bit,
A
but
little bit.
I was very happy he was still there. So
Yeah.
They say you should never meet your idols.
he was fantastic.
Yeah. Well,
I
it
don't
only
care.
could go up after that moment.
He was awesome.
No, it was a good time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. It was fun. At some point, maybe we can do it again.
Oh yeah.
If you guys ever have anything going on, open invitation. Let me know.
Okay. Sounds good. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Voices in the silence saying this is bigger than you. The face so your shadows in too deep. If this world's all we can see, then why is it staring back at me? Maybe we were never meant to know. Maybe it's just the thing they hide the most. You can run, but you can't unsee what's been burned into memory.